Good.
Just to get right to it, I guess, sort of report that you're a name to watch in the defensive coordinator search at Tennessee. Is that true?
I mean, that's a pretty easy, connect the dots deal. Obviously, I've coached with a lot of those guys in the past. Know and respect them, fully. But rumors are just rumors. I've had zero communication with anybody over there regarding any kind of job. I know there's an opening there. So like I said, if I was a media member, I'd connect the same dots as well. That makes sense. But right now, those are just rumors.
Is it your expectation you'll be here in 2026?
I hope so. I really enjoy this place. Right now I am the defense coordinator at University of Washington. We're playing against Boise State on Saturday. I enjoy Seattle. My family lives here. Love it here. So that's where we're at right now.
What do you see as kind of the future of this defense? Where do you feel like this group is at, especially entering 2026?
Yeah, I'm really excited about who we have coming back. Really fired up about the class that we signed and their ability to make an immediate impact. You look at the schedule next year. I like the matchups. Like the home and away schedule as well. It'll be year 2 in the system. I really like the way we finished the year and sort of the direction that we're heading. And like I said, with the guys coming back and being another year in the system, you're only going to get better. If you look at sort of my resume as a coordinator, there's always been a big jump from year 1 to year 2. So I was a history major, and usually history repeats itself. So looking forward to that next step, especially dealing with situational ball and fine tuning the expectations and the intensity level and the focus that's required in those make or break moments in games. I think that's an area where we'll grow next year. So the future is bright. I think Coach Fish has done a great job here, just building culture and teaching football and pouring into the players. I think Washington is a place that's poised for continued success.
You mentioned some of those recruits coming in. Are there any guys in particular who stand out to you in your recruiting class this year?
Oh man, there's really a bunch of guys. I'd have to name all of them. There wasn't one guy that we took that we're not expecting to make an impact in some shape or form. Obviously guys like Derek Coleman-Brusa stick out. You look at the DBs that we signed, they all have good ball skills and play tough and physical and can run. You look at the linebacker class, they got length, from top to bottom at every position. And the guys that we signed, they look like Big Ten players and they're also really good at football. So I'm excited about the future.
Ryan, do you expect anybody to not play Saturday? Any guys with eligibility?
No, yeah, everybody that is healthy is going to go. Again, that just speaks to the culture and the type of guys that Coach Fish has brought in. These guys like to play football. So anytime you get a chance to go play, they jump at it. And we had a great practice yesterday. Another good one just got off the practice field today. Energy was good. Guys are locked in. Excited for a chance to go compete in an NFL stadium.
How much do you combine trying to get some young guys some experience, kind of get a little bit of a jump on next year versus just simply winning Saturday?
I mean, we play young guys all year, so they've already got that jump. That's just kind of the nature of our roster right now. And so, the focus will be on winning the game, and, the young guys that have played will continue to play.
Of the 5 DBs you guys signed in this class, where do you kind of see those guys falling positionally, or do you have to sort of wait and see when they get here?
Yeah, it's always tricky, because you look at tape and you go watch them practice, but you never really know what they can do till you get them in the building and you get to work them out, yourself, and you get to see them compete with other Big Ten players. So we don't really want to pigeonhole. So we talk to the guys all the time, whether they're playing safety or corner. You guys are DBs, and when you get in the building, we'll figure out the best combination. Usually we play with 5, so the best combination of 5 to give us a chance to compete at a high level and win in this conference. Those will be the positions that they play. With the structure of our defense, there's a lot of carryover. And guys playing different spots. Sometimes a corner will play the role as a safety. Sometimes the safety will play a role as a corner. So you got to know all 5 anyway. And that's also why I like this class, because they got a lot of versatility.
Same question, but kind of as it relates to J.D. Hill, who looks like he could play either inside or outside. Do you view him in either particular role coming in, or is it just kind of that same plan?
Yeah, I mean, you look at his tape. What jumps out is the amount of sacks that he had in high school and his ability to get to the quarterback. So I would anticipate us starting him outside. Just that's kind of in his natural wheelhouse. But you never know. Like with defensive linemen, you get them in the building, and now they have they're on a strength and conditioning program. They're on a nutrition program, and usually the pounds sort of start packing on. So you don't know how they grow until you get them in here. But I would anticipate him starting on the outside.
What have you seen from this Boise State offense? What are you kind of expecting from them going into this week?
Yeah, I mean, very, very efficient. I've always had a lot of respect for Boise. When I was a player at Colorado, Dan Hawkins came from Boise, and then we got to see them play in the Fiesta Bowl against Oklahoma when we were also in the Big 12 at the time. And so, I've always kind of followed their program. You look at Chris Peterson, and I'm friends with Andy Avalos. It's been a long line of coaches that have done really well there. And as a result, like, they've won a lot of games. And in order to do that, you got to play sound, you got to be efficient, you got to take care of the football, you got to be creative, and they are all of those things. Quarterback is a really good player. He's won a lot of games. He's thrown for a bunch of yards, both in college and in high school. So he does a good job of getting the ball out on time. He's accurate, reads coverage as well. They're, like I said, they're just efficient all over the place. And so, we're going to have to really be dialed in, locked in. They do a lot of shifts, a lot of motions, a lot of pre-snap presentation. So that if your eyes are in the wrong spot, you can get out leveraged and get out of gap. Because every shift, every motion they do, it's not just to do it, for window dressing. It's with a purpose. So definitely got to be dialed in on all those plays.
How different does their offense look when Madsen is in versus those games that he missed?
Yeah, I mean, operationally, it's the same schemes. Just the quarterback is a little more efficient, when he's in there. And as you guys know, like that position is so important to driving an offense and operating at a high level. But as far as like the play calls and the play selection, that doesn't really change.
That's all we got.
Cool.
All right, Coach, thank you. Alex, please.
Alex, as you look back at your first season at Washington, you win defensive MVP. Where do you feel you've seen your game improve the most since you got here?
I would just say, like, not trying to make the big play all the time and just know I'm surrounded by other great athletes and just let the plays come to me and just play within the scheme and just make the plays when they come to me.
From the FCS level, this will be your first bowl game experience. Just what are kind of your feelings about this, and what are you looking forward to the most, I guess?
I mean, I feel like I've dreamed of playing a bowl game since I was a kid and just didn't have the opportunity to play in bowl games at the FCS level. So I'm just grateful for this opportunity to go out there one last time with the seniors and set the standard for 2026.
Jed seems to think that everyone's going to play this game. What is it about this group that you think makes it that you guys want to play in games like this?
I would just say the love we have for each other on and off the field, and we know we want to go out there and compete as a team because we felt like we were very close this year, and we want to get to 9 wins and set the standard for the new guys coming in and build something special for 2026.
Where do you feel like this defense has the most room to grow in 2026?
I would just say, like, we were kind of young this year, and those young guys performed really well. And then next year, they're going to have that experience under their belt, and we'll have this is a new scheme for all of us this year, and we'll have a second year in this scheme, and I feel like we'll just play a lot better knowing the ins and outs of it.
Nowadays, anybody who performs well, there always might be some chance that they could get a better deal or more money somewhere else or test the portal, whatever it might be. Are you pretty committed to playing your senior year here?
Yeah, I'm not going anywhere. Coach Fish brought me here. I'm blessed to be here, and I will be here next year.
With that being said, how do you feel that your role can evolve in 2026?
I love the role I was in this year, but I feel like I just got to step into more of a leadership role because I'll be the oldest guy in that safety room with Mikkel leaving. So I think just stepping into a leadership role and knowing I got a bunch of young guys coming in that we can all just set the standard in that room and just take on that role.
Mikkel won the team award, the Guy Flaherty Award. What is it about him that makes him an inspirational player to the other guys in the room?
I mean, just like how long he's been here, the commitment he's had to not just this coaching staff, but to the university and the community, just going through all those coaches changes and just like how he carries himself off the field. Like he just carries himself as a pro, and you could look to him for guidance because he's been around football a lot. He's got a ton of experience, and he just understands the game. So he's always there for him if you need him.
He was you guys had a different safety group out there since he didn't really play a lot against Oregon. What's it like playing with RDA and Vince?
I mean, it was great. Those are my guys. RDA, super talented, and for him to go out there and play like he did against Oregon, I felt like he played really great. And for Vince to step up when Mikkel went down, I feel like he did really good. And then I went down in that game for a little bit, so I feel like they just stepped up and played, and our defense played really good in that game, I felt like. So those two guys stepping up were big.
How do your responsibilities change when you guys go from the 2 safety looks to the 3 safety looks?
That's just for a lot of 12 personnel. When there's 2 tight ends out there, we like to get the safeties in there to match up with those tight ends. So putting Mikkel down there in the box or Vince down in the box, those are 2 big, strong safeties that we like to have down there, just match up with their personnel.
All right, enough fellas?
Thanks, Alex.
Thank you.
Thanks, Alex. Might as well go ahead.
Hey, Desmond, how has this season lived up to or compared, I guess, to any expectation you might have had for yourself as a freshman coming in here?
It definitely surprised me a little bit. I knew I was always a good player, underrated player coming in, and I came in late. So, it's really, I was just blessed to be in the position I am, and just thankful for sure.
This will be, again, your kind of first bowl game experience. What are you expecting? What are you looking forward to coming this Saturday?
Yeah, I'm always, expecting to have fun, obviously win, and just, take the moment in. It's going to be the last time playing with some of the older guys, so just take it all in and have fun at the end of the day and win.
What to you would be the difference between an 8-win and a 9-win season? How could this propel you guys into 2026?
Yeah, coming out with 9 wins this year is gonna be a big role into next year. Just ending the season off on a high note, going into next season.
There's a lot of opportunities out there. Do you expect to be back at Washington next season, and do you expect to be part of this kind of long term?
Yeah, for sure. Yes, sir.
Now that you have a season of college football under your belt and there's revenue share now, there's third-party NIL now, guys sign contracts, how much does the NIL and the financial piece of it inform kind of the way you think about your future as a college football player?
At the end of the day, I come here to play football, so the money isn't really a big part of it. I just want to come in and play football and make it to the NFL as the main goal. So none of that really has a big part of anything.
You were part of a really talented freshman class this past year in 2025, and obviously this coaching staff is bringing another really talented class for next year. Are you, especially now that you have a year under your belt, are you looking forward to like that step up in competition that you're going to see?
Most definitely. Every year or in anything I do, I always want to compete at the highest level. So those young guys coming in, so they're going to be a good group of people. The people we have in the room. So yeah, just competing every day.
Now that you have a little bit of that experience under your belt as well, do you feel that you can just take on more of a leadership role moving forward?
Yeah, for sure. I feel more confident in my abilities and know the plays and know what other guys have to do. So when the young guys come in, I definitely feel like I can be one of those guys.
Reflecting on your first season of college football, was there anything that surprised you? Anything about the process, about what the schedule looks like, anything like that maybe you didn't know coming into this that you've learned this year?
I've definitely learned that just the whole college football, like as a whole, it's almost like a job. You got to come with it every day, and if you don't, it's going to affect you in the long run. So just staying consistent and keeping a level head every day. So.
All right, anything else for Desmond? All right, we appreciate your time.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Des.
All right, yeah. All good. I got some time. What are you doing, guys?
Doing good.
Awesome.
Jimmie, last year with the Sun Bowl experience, maybe using that to kind of springboard into this season, what do you guys feel like you can do offensively that'll help lead into 2026 in this game in the LA Bowl?
Yeah, I think it's been an ongoing thing throughout the year of, and it really started in January, as I told you guys before, the process and the journey that we've been on to get it to where it is today, and certainly proud of a lot of different things that we've done this year, whether it's, we're 22nd in the country in scoring right now. We jumped up 82 spots from a year ago. We're, I believe, 6th in the country on third down conversion rate on offense. I believe we're 5th in the country, I think it is, in red zone touchdown percentage. So you look at all those things, there's been a lot accomplished by the coaches and the players alike. Players obviously done a great job. Playing 10 true freshmen on that side of the ball, some of the injuries and things that we've dealt with throughout the year, and guys stepping up at different times to kind of keep it going. Very proud of what the guys have been able to accomplish. Ultimately, this game represents for us a chance to go out and get win number 9, and that's a big deal to us. And I know there's a lot of talk in college football, this, that, the other, the bowls are maybe not as important. This thing's a huge deal to us, and we're looking forward. Our kids, our coaches are really excited to go down to L.A. and play this game. For the guys that are still here that maybe are playing their last game as a Husky, means a lot to us, and also what it could do in the future. You win your last game of the year. I don't care what the game is. You walk in that locker room and you feel it different, and that's our goal. That's our goal, is to go out and win 9, and then carry that on into next year.
Coach, what did you see from Derek Zammit during the recruiting process? I know you guys offered him, I hate to say later in the process, but nowadays it was later in the process. When you brought him out, what was it that you saw in him that made you guys like him so much?
He's a winner, number one. You look at him and it's 3 state titles, one at a very high level throughout his whole high school career. As you watch tape and you see, the obvious physical traits, right, that guys have, and this is for a quarterback or anybody really, But then as you kind of dig into it and you start to get to know him, his family, and you get to know kind of how he ticks and his ability to really comprehend the game was what really kind of separated him from some of the other guys. Is now you're able to do these Zooms with recruits and things like that. You can get on a Zoom and talk football for an hour. You know, you can show them tape and kind of talk ball with them, and you're kind of, you know, volleying back and forth questions or whatever it might be to the recruit, and you know how they're able to communicate and how they're able to kind of, you can already see pretty quickly how they're able to comprehend, take the information in, and then spit it back to you a little bit. So was very impressed with him from the beginning from that standpoint. It's a credit to him. His high school coaches do a great job. He's got a great system there in New Jersey. And, you know, those were kind of some of the things. You know, we love the fact that he did a little bit of playing under center, and you saw some of the play action, some of the stuff that matches up to some of the stuff that we like to do. Not that that's always a make or break, because a lot of teams don't do that, but that was just like an added bonus when we were kind of looking at his tape and whatnot. But I think the things that really drew us to him, just like a lot of guys, is the off-the-field stuff, you know, the character, the work ethic, the football IQ, those kind of things.
What have you seen from the Boise State defense? You know, what are you expecting this Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, good unit that's extremely, as everybody knows, Boise's very well coached. Their players are going to play extremely hard with great motor and desire, and this is no different. You know, they have a brand, they have a style of play that they've played for a very, very long time. Coach Danielson and that crew has kept that thing going. Very, very good talent on that side of the ball as well. A lot of those guys that were either starters or rotational type guys that were on that CFP team. So used to doing, going out there and playing well and winning a bunch of games. So we got our work cut out for us. We've had a great week of practice so far. Really excited to get out there and play down in L.A.
Go good. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you guys. Thanks.
Thanks, Jimmy.